Welcome to my cricket dreams. In this video, I plan to say today's cricket news. Here we can look at the Indian cricket team's 5 most memorable away test wins of the 21st century. The Indian cricket team joined the Test fold in 1932 with their first away tour to England. But for almost 40 years, they were considered the also runs in the world cricket, where Test wins a few and far between. The Indian team gave the first indication of becoming a major force in the world cricket with dual overseas Test series wins against West Indies and England back in 1971. But this turned out to be a flash in the pan, as this was followed by a very few Test wins for Team India, and those two were primarily at home conditions. The Indian cricket team's success in the 1983 World Cup and the 1985 Championship at cricket made them one of the most top teams in the ODI format, but they were still lagging in the longer version of the game. The 1990s brought an upswing in the Indian Test team's fortunes in the spinner-friendly home conditions, with the emerge of the great Anil Kumble and able assistance from other spinners such as Harbhajan Singh. The Indian team ground almost every homecoming team to dust. However, their away record still left to be a lot to desire. It was only in the early 2000s, under the leadership of India's great Sourav Ganguly, that India came to be recognized as a team that were no longer lambs to be slaughtered away from home. The Indian cricket team finally had a host of penetrating pace bowlers at their disposal, along with one of the all-time greatest batting and spin bowling lineups. They were a force to reckon with even in the foreign conditions as well. Although there have been a few hiccups along the way, the current Indian cricket team, which is led under the captaincy of Virat Kohli, has maintained this momentum throughout his career. A maiden Test series win in Australia and their position at the top of the ICC World Test Championship points tables is ample proof of their growing progress as a Test playing nation, even away from home. Let us have a look at top 5 memorable away Test wins for Indian cricket team. Victories that went a long way in establishing them as one of the most biggest superpowers of the modern day game. Number 1. India vs South Africa at Johannesburg in 2006. India won the match by 123 runs. India took on the Proteas in the first test of their tour to South Africa at Johannesburg from 15 to 18 December 2006. India's that-time captain Rahul Dravid, the Indian captain, won the toss and elected to bat first for the team. On a lively pitch, India were dismissed for a fighting first innings score of 250 runs. Ganguly was the top scorer with an unbeaten 51, with all the middle order batsmen chipping in with some useful runs for the team. The South Africans were blown away in the first innings, dispatching for just 84 runs in only 25 overs. The Mercurial S. Richard was the wicket taker with his prodigious swing and seam movement. He dismantled the South African top order and middle order to return figures of 5 for 40 for his team. He was also ably well supported by the other bowlers like Zaheer Khan and Anil Kumble, pitching in with 2 wickets apiece. With a handsome 165-run lead in the first innings, the Indian team had the upper hand. They did not release the stranglehold as they put on a score of 236 in the second innings, setting a huge target of 402 runs ahead of South Africans in the scoreboard. VVS Lakshman played for India very well and top scored for India as well in the second innings with his 73 runs to his pocket. The Indian pace bowlers again wreaked havoc among the South African top order. After Zaheer Khan dismissed Herschel Gibbs for a duck, Srisha took the prize wickets of Graeme Smith, Hashim Amla and Jack Ellis to reduce South Africa to 84 for 4. Although Ashwal Prince played a patient innings of 97, India continued to chip away wickets at the other end. And so, the South Africans were eventually dispatched for a below par 300 runs, with Srishan, Zaheer Khan and Anil Kumble stealing 3 wickets apiece. Srishan was duly awarded the man of the match for his haul of 8 wickets in the match. This 123-run victory versus the Brontes was even more significant as it was the Indian cricket team's first ever Test victory on South African soil. Number 2. India vs Australia at Melbourne in 2018. India won by 137 runs. India faced the Kangaroos Australia in the third test of their tour to Australia, played at Melbourne from the 26th to 30th December 2018. With the series tied at 1-1, Kohli, the Indian captain, won the toss and elected to bat first. India declared the innings at a healthy score of 443 for 7. Cheteshwar Pujara, who had a great tour down under, top scored with a batting legend 106 runs. He was well supported by the other end by the Indian skipper Virat Kohli 82 runs, Mayank Agarwal 76 runs and Rohit Sharma 63 runs as India piled on a huge total on the board. In reply, Australia were bowled out for a mere 181 runs. Jasprit Bumrah, India's Yorker specialist, ran through the Australian batting lineup, finishing up with figures of 6 for 33 for his team. India thus gained a massive 292-run lead in the first innings. Kohli opted not to enforce the follow-on and instead went for a quick run to force Aussies to bat last on a deteriorating pitch. But India suffered a heavy loss after a top-order collapse, with Pat Cummins being the destroyer-in-chief with his 6 wickets. Agarwal and Rishabh Pant were the only 2 Indians to provide some resistance before Kohli declared the Indian score at 106 for 8. This left Australia to chase a 399-run target in the 4th innings to force an unlikely victory. Although most of the Australian batsmen got up to a start in their innings, none of them managed to score a big score. Cummins was the principal contributor with a bat as well. Their only half-century with 63 runs to his credit. The Aussies were finally dismissed for 261 runs. All Indian pace bowlers played their part, but it was Bumrah again who finished the best figures 3 for 53. He was deservedly awarded the man of the match for his 9-wicket haul in that test match. India won the match by 137 runs to take a 2-1 lead in the series. This win was even more special as the Indian cricket team went on to win their first ever test series in Australia, with the final test ending in a draw. And number 3, India vs Australia, this time at Perth 2008. India winning by 72 runs. The Indians were up against the Aussies in the third test of their tour to Australia, played at Perth from 16 to 19 January 2008. The match was played in the backdrop of mounting tension between the two sides. Following the Mogejad scandal in the previous test match in Sydney, Kumble, the Indian captain, won the toss and elected to bat first. India managed to put a decent total of 330 runs on the board. The total was built on the back of a 139 third wicket partnership between the Dravid 93 and Sachin Tendulkar, the god of cricket, 71 runs. The young Irfan Pathan played a crucial knock of 28 runs to take India past the 300-run mark. Australia were dismissed for 212 in their first innings, with Andrew Symonds and Adam Gilchrist scoring half-centuries for Australia. R.P. Singh, India's bowler, was the highest wicket taker for India with 4 wickets with him to his name. The other bowlers, Pathan, Kumble and Ishant Sharma, too chipped in with a couple of wickets each for the bowlers. The highlight of India's bowling was a terrific spell by Sharma, where he tormented the great Ricky Ponting before eventually dismissing him. With a 118-run advantage from the first innings, India team had another 294 runs in their second innings. Lakshman was the top scorer with 79 runs to his credit. Pathan, who was promoted to number 3 in the batting order, played a useful knock of 46 runs for his team. Chasing a mammoth 435 victory, the Aussies, the Kangaroos, lost a couple of early wickets, but useful contributions from the Michael Clarke 81, Michael Hussey 46 and Australian great Ricky Ponting kept them in the hunt for a long time. The Indians kept chipping away wickets at regular intervals to reduce Australia to 253 for 8. Although Mitchell Johnson and Stuart Clark delayed the individual with some lusty hits, it was too late. The Australians eventually folded for 340 runs. All the India bowlers played their part, with Pathak finishing with the best figures of 3 for 54. The left-hander was declared the man of the match for his all-round performance. 74 runs with the bat, completing the 5 wickets with the ball in hand. Although India went on to lose the series 2-1, this 72 runs victory was memorable for multiple reasons. The victory was achieved on the bouncy Perth pitch, considered the most alien conditions for any subcontinental team. To top it all came on the back of the forgettable Sydney Test, where India seemed to have been hard done by both by the umpiring decisions on the ground and the match referee decision of the field. And number 3, India versus England at Leeds in 2002. India won by an innings and 46 runs. India played England in the third test of their tour to England played at Leeds from 22nd to 26 August 2002. India went into test match trailing 1-0 in the 4-match test series. Ganguly won the toss and, to many of the surprise, elected to bat on a green pitch in overcast conditions. After India lost Virender Sehwag very early, Dravid and Sanjay Bangar kept the English attack at bay. The new station had together a brilliant 170 runs partnership for the second wicket. But the more telling factor was that they were at the crease for almost 70 overs. All through Bangar's contribution of 68 runs may not seem like much, the 236 deliveries he faced played a significant role in tiring the England bowlers. The Dravid went on to score a majestic 148 runs, putting in another 150 runs with Tendulkar for the third wicket. With the England bowlers at their wits end, Tendulkar 193 and Ganguly 128 went on to attack and smash them all over the park. India eventually declared the innings of a massive score of 628 for 8. All through England got to a decent start against Indian pace bowling attack. In the first innings, the Indians bowled chipped away with wickets at regular intervals. England were dismissed for 273 in their first innings. The spinners Kumble and Harbhajan Singh shared 6 wickets between them, while the pacers Zaheer Khan and Ajit Agarkar took other 4 wickets for the team. Ganguly enforced the follow-on, with India enjoying a 355-run lead after the first innings. The English top order put a greater resistance in the second innings, with their captain Nasser Hussain scoring a century. But India kept up the pressure to eventually dismiss England for 309 runs. Kumble was the wrecker-in-chief this time for his team, with 4 wickets in his name, while all the other bowlers chipped in with wickets as well for Anil Kumble. Dravid was awarded the man of the match for his dogged innings. All through the series eventually ended in a 1-1 draw. This innings and a 46 runs victory was a memorable one for Team India. The fact was that this victory, achieved batting first in a seamer-friendly conditions, made it all-time more noteworthy. And number 5, India versus Australia at Adelaide in 2003. India won by 4 wickets. India took on the Kangaroos in the second test of their tour to Australia at Adelaide from 12th to 16th December 2003. The two teams came to Adelaide after a statement in their first test at Brisbane. Steve Waugh, the Australian skipper, won the toss and elected to bat first for their team. The Aussies put a mammoth 556 runs on the board in their first innings. Ponting was the star of the show, was a stroke-filled double on 242 runs. Kumble was the highest wicket taker for India, bagging 5 wickets at a cost of 154 runs. Chasing a massive score, India were under severe pressure after losing 4 wickets with just 85 runs on the board. Dravid and Lakshman they almost did an end of their momentum partnership in Kolkata a couple of years ago, with a 303 aligned for the 5th wicket to bring India back into the match. While Lakshman contributed a sublime 148 runs, Dravid was the last man to be dismissed for an individual score of 233 runs, which is awesome. The duo had taken India to a score of 523 runs, trailing Australia by 33 runs after the innings. Agarkar then produced a career-best bowling effort of 6 for 41 to run through Australian batting lineup. The witty Sachin Tendulkar also struck 2 crucial blows, dismissing Waugh and Damien Martyn, both brilliantly caught by Dravid in the slips. Australia were dismissed for 196 runs to leave India chasing a tricky 230 runs in 4th innings. The openers Sehwag and Akash Chopra gave India a solid start, putting 48 runs for the first wicket. After both of them were dismissed, Dravid and Tendulkar strung together a 70 runs partnership to take India closer to victory. But the dismissals of Tendulkar and Ganguly brought Australia back in the match. The Dravid-Lakshman partnership then took India to the doorstep of a victory before the later was dismissed, with India needing another 9 runs to win. Although India lost, Parthiv Patel Dravid with his unbeaten knock of 72 ensured that India crossed the line without any further loss of wickets. Dravid was undoubtedly the man of the match for his superb knocks in both the innings. This 4-wicket victory is surely one of the most greatest wins in Indian cricket history and will be one more. The fact that it came on the foreign soil against a tough Australian side, that too after losing the toss after conceding more than 550 runs in the first innings, makes it all memorable for the Indian fans, especially for the Indian cricket team. Thank you for watching my channel. Can you like, subscribe and comment, and for more such notifications for the world.